Of the concept now. Let's see that. Okay, it's very simple. So the meaning of multiplexing is assembling. So what is assembling? It's nothing but, in general, simple words, collection. So collection of something, it is nothing but multiplexing, collecting something, not collection, collecting something is multiplexing. Convergence. Demultiplexing is distribution. Opposite of collecting, that is distributing. Distributing is demultiplexing, or you can say divergence is demultiplexing. See, convergence and divergence is in the I'm using this convergence and divergence these terms are used with respect to rays. Correct? Light rays converging. Light rays converges to a point. Light rays diverges from a particular point. So it is something like converging is multiplexing, diverging is demultiplexing. Or in other words, collecting is multiplexing, distributing is demultiplexing. Opposites, right? We will see these terms multiplexing and demultiplexing with respect to transport layer. Yes, you just see here. What is this? This is the sender system. Let me call this as host, sender host, and you call this as receiver host. So this host has basically a network stack. You know the 5 layers they are: application from top, transport, network, link, data link, physical layer. These are the 5 layers here at the sender host. Again, you have here one more host, sender host, not the receiver. Okay, I'm sorry. This is also one more sender. You can call him as sender A and this person as sender B. This is also sender. Again, he also has 5 layers, all the same 5 layers. These two people are trying to send message to one common system. What is that common host? That common host, it's a server here. You can see a server. So both are sending a message, maybe it is a request message, to one server, common server. Again, the server also has same 5 layers: application, transport, network, data link and physical layer. Now let's see what is multiplexing happening here and what is demultiplexing happening here, or how these two hosts are communicating with this remote server. Let's see here. Yes, this host A, let's start. This person is running various processes or applications here in his system. So maybe one of them is email, or one of them is, other one is messenger or browser or anything it can be. In this, it is shown here only one process which is running, which is the process. This is the only process running here in this host A. Again, here host B also has one process running, and that is process P4. This P3 is the only one process. Here again, this is also only one process. So this process is basically used to send a message. This can be an email application or a messenger. So you have, the user has sent a message. Now after he sends the message, that message will be transferred from application to which layer? Transport layer. So still your message has not reached to the destination. Here the destination is server. Okay, so it has not reached the destination, so the message is transferred to the transport layer. See here, the message is transferred to the transport layer via one opening. You must recall one concept which I had very clearly explained in the previous module, application layer. That is, what is it? Last concept, socket programming. Go back to that video. If you have forgotten, please go through that video again to understand what is a socket. Okay, so I'm not going to explain it again. Please go through that again. So here the socket acts as a opening between application and transport layer, or it is an intermediate between application and transport layer. It is only through this socket the messages should be transferred. So socket acts as a door here between application and transport layer, and this door has a door number. You call that socket as a door, and this socket has a number, unique number, and you call that as a port number. port address. So every socket here in a particular system has a unique port number, remember. So when you create a socket at the client side or at the sender side, that port number will be automatically assigned to your socket. Once a socket is created, port number will be automatically assigned by the operating system. If you don't want that auto assigned port number, you can also explicitly assign the port number by using a bind function. So I have explained about it also in the last concept in the previous video, that is socket programming video. You can refer that. Okay, yes. Now the message is transferred from process P3 to the transport layer via the socket. So this message, whatever is transferred, should have from address, and that from address contains what? One is IP address. It is the IP address of sender host. Also it should contain this door number. What is that? Port address of the socket which is used to transfer the message. So that acts as a source port number. Source IP address is one part of the address, and one more part of the address is source port number via which the message is sent. So two parts, it's very important in the address. Okay, so source address has two parts, IP address and port address. Done. So once the message is transferred to the transport layer, from there it is transferred to the network, then data link, then physical layer. Once the message is transferred, see, remember, this source address, not just source address is enough. To address also is important. Destination address also is important. So what should be the destination address? It is the server's IP address. That's one part. Then again, one more thing is important, that is destination port number. So who is going to receive there at the receiver side? It's a port number only. Via that only the message should be transferred. So destination, that is server's port number, also should be specified here, and that acts as a destination address. So server's IP address and server's port number acts as a destination address, and that part, source address and destination address, is a part which is added to your message. And where is that? That is added as a header to your message. So message is the content, hi, hello, how are you, or whatever you are writing in the message body. That message should have one header part, and that header contains the source address and destination address. So your message is now transferred to the transport layer through this socket. Transport layer will break up those messages into segments, and every segment will be added with the header. So what is that header? It again contains the destination address, source address as well. So every segments here which is created at the transport layer will be carefully sent to the next layer. So network layer will send to the link, then physical, then carefully your messages will be sent to the physical link network, and at the transport layer which is running here at the server side, see how your message reaches the server with the help of destination IP address. So once it reaches the server, your message will move till the transport layer. Now at the server side, in the transport layer, there is a protocol running, which is that, say TCP is a protocol running here. It can be UDP also. Okay, so if it is a TCP running here, its job is to what? Ensure that its job is to see the port number there, destination port number there. Correct. So here destination port number is added as a header part in the received segment. So that header contains the destination port number. So that destination port number will be read here, and that with the help of that TCP here running here at the server side will identify the correct socket. You can see there are two sockets here. There can be multiple sockets here. So here you can see two sockets. So with the help of destination port number, it will identify the correct socket. So if this is the correct socket, that through that socket your message will be transferred to the correct process, right process. So you can see P3 is sending the message to which process? P1 via this socket. So here that correct socket, that is a destination socket port address which is specified by this sender host. Similarly, you can see here this host also is sending a message through the same process. P4 is sending the message, destination and source address is included. So with the help of destination IP address, message is reached till the server, and once it reaches here, it will transfer the message to the correct socket. Who is transferring? TCP running at the server side will transfer the message to the correct socket through this socket, different socket. This time message is correctly transferred to the process P2. So P1 is basically communicating with P3, P2 is basically communicating with P4. Now you can see here yes, you can see here the messages are arriving from two different hosts. How will it identify that the message is received from two different hosts? Why? Because it's one TCP running here. How will it identify that is obtained from two different hosts? It is with the help of address, source IP address. So this source IP address of host A and the source IP address of host will be definitely different. There cannot be two systems with the same IP address, remember. So with the help of IP address at the receiver side, here TCP will correctly differentiate between the two different messages, that the two messages are received from two different systems. With the help of the source IP address, it will correctly distinguish between the received messages, and clearly those messages will be transferred to two different processes over here via two different sockets. Okay, so this is what this is how the distribution is happening. Now you can see here, what is multiplexing happening here? See, multiplexing is basically happening over here at the sender system. What is multiplexing? Collecting the message from the process P3 here via the socket. Carefully those collected segments will be transferred to the destination. So collection is happening, that is multiplexing is happening here at the sender side. Similarly here also at this host, multiplexing is happening here, collecting all the messages here via the socket from P4 at the transport layer. That collection job is done by whom? TCP running here or UDP running here at the transport layer. Once the collection job is done, that messages will be carefully sent to the destination. Now what is demultiplexing happening here? Demultiplexing means what? Distributing. At the receiver's end, TCP or UDP running here at the transport layer of the server, it distributes the messages. So distribution is happening with the help of the correct socket number, port address. It distributes the messages to the right process. So demultiplexing is distribution happening at the receiver side, multiplexing that is happening at the sender side. Correct? So multiplexing and demultiplexing you should be able to understand over here. Yes. So you can see here demultiplexing happening here. Similarly, you can see always at the receivers, don't think that at the server side only demultiplexing will happen. If the server wants to send back the response, what the server will do? It will collect the response message from P1. It will also collect the response message from P2. You can see here, collecting the response message is happening here. Collecting the response message. So this, when it's collecting the response message, it will also receive the address, header part. What is that header part? It will have the destination address part. So what is that destination address should contain here? The message that is received from process P1 will contain the destination address. That destination address will be the destination IP address of this host, as well as it should contain the destination port number of this host. Similarly, the message received from P2 should have the destination IP address of host B and the destination port number of host B. Okay, so that is how the response message is now sent. Now tell me what is happening at the server side. TCP running here at the transport layer at the server side basically now is doing the multiplexing job. So what is that multiplexing happening here? That is, it is collecting the response message. Collection is nothing but multiplexing. It collects all the response message from P1 as well as it collects from P2. Now it is with the help of the address, destination address. You can see the two different destination addresses are there. Two different IP addresses are there, with the help of which the TCP will transfer the message to two different systems. So multiplexing is done here this time, and it is sent to the two different hosts. Now what is happening? Upon receiving the message here at this host A, it has to do demultiplexing job. So demultiplexing is distributing the message back to P3. Again here, upon receiving the message, it has to demultiplex or distribute the message to P4. So at a particular system, multiplexing and demultiplexing both will happen at the transport layer, and that is the role of protocol TCP running at the transport layer. Okay, so I hope this multiplexing and demultiplexing job is clear. You can see this header part, or you can see this message format, that is segment format. How the TCP carries the segment. I said message received will be broken up into segments, right? So what is that segment format? You can see that segment will be in this format. It contains 32-bit address. So header part, the segment has one header part. That header part contains what? Address. So what is that address? It contains from address and to address. So what is that from address? It should have The source port number is socket ID, source port number from address. Also it should have destination port number, that is destination socket ID. Also it should have the IP address there, IP address, source IP address and destination IP address, that is a part of the header which is 32 bits. Okay, and then other parts of the header field might be there. And then the next part here in this segment is the payload. What is payload? It is the actual message, the content, whatever the user has typed, hi, hello, how are you, or whatever may be the message, that is the second section. And this section is confidential. Transport layer will give security to this part as well. This is the part which should not be lost, it should not be corrupted, right? It should not be corrupted. So that is the security given to this payload part by the TCP, and reaching this message to the correct destination is happening with the help of this header. So this is the segment format you can see. Okay,